Hello everyone. Today I have with me Yajas Sardana. Yajas Sardana is my college junior himself, the person from NSUT now. He was fortunate enough to bag 6 internship over the period of 3 years. Right now, he is just completing his third year of engineering, that too from the IT branch. And today we will be talking about his journey, how he bagged these 6 offers, and the seventh one in the queue is Microsoft, which he'll be joining very soon, a month later. So let's bring him on board and let's talk about his journey, how he was able to grab these 7 offers in total, and what kind of exposures he had in the past. So let's onboard Yajas. Welcome, Yajas. How are you? I hope you are really having a great time today.
Right. Hi, Sanchit. I'm doing well. How are you?
Awesome, man. And
Amazing.
congratulations, first of all. 7 internships over a period of 3 years, that too in COVID times, is commendable.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Like a lot of credit goes to you as well. So I'm actually a college junior of Sanchit. So I'm in my third year at NSIT, and you know that Sanchit has passed out of the same college. So coming to my introduction, I'm Yajas. I'm a full stack developer. I also have some interest in product management. And apart from that, I create a lot of content on platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram. So you can just look out for that. And coming down to like my exposure, should I just share my journey like as a whole?
Yeah, we can start with it. So, yeah, just when did you join NSIT first of all? Let's shoot for
Sorry.
question. When did you join NSIT first of all? 2000?
Sure. So 2000, it was 2019, August of 2019. So it was like the only college which was nearby from my house. And I was someone who could not really do well in JEE Advance. So I was that one person who had like a decent rank in JEE Mains. And NSUT was like 2 kilometers from my house, so it was a natural choice.
Awesome. And then when you joined NSIT, then you started looking out for opportunities, because I can see that in the very first year you got through Curefit as an intern.
Right. So what happened was that in school itself, I was like pretty involved in programming. So I used to run this tech club called Haywire in school, where we used to have these DSA competitions, competitive programming competitions, robotic competitions in school itself. So there was like this tech circuit in school. But like as soon as we came to college, like we had heard this term again and again that college jao explore karo, college jao explore karo. So you were someone who went to like almost all societies, gave auditions for dance, dramatics, all these things. And ultimately, I ended up joining the debating society as my primary society. So पूरा first year तो मैंने I have spent like दोस्त बनाए, societies में गए, parties करी, इधर उधर घूमे, and I went to a lot of debates. So just before the lockdown was when I had gone to Harvard for a debate. So मेरा पूरा first year was mainly spent in preparing for that like Harvard MUN. So once that ended, as soon as we landed in Delhi, after like 2 weeks from that was when COVID actually struck.
Oh,
So हमने बस mid sems
March
दिए.
2020.
Yeah. So COVID struck in New York on 1st March, and we came back on 24th Feb. So it was like just a 6-7 day gap, and so we barely made it यहाँ पे, and then the COVID wala thing came. And as soon as the COVID lockdown struck, like it was always in the back of my mind कि college school में इतना programming किया है, college आने से पहले हल्का फुल्का DSA सीखा हुआ है, बट वो पूरा एक साल बिल्कुल डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया कि गिटहब पे कोई कमिट्स नहीं, कुछ लैपटॉप में कोई नया सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं सीखा हुआ. सो एज सून एज आई गॉट दैट टाइम कि अब लॉकडाउन हो गया. So along with doing all those things जो सब लोग लॉकडाउन में कर रहे थे, like cooking, music वगैरह, I started basically doing some programming. So what I did was that like you know that everybody knows, especially in NSIT, that एक बहुत famous course है web development का by Cold Steel, so almost every person in every batch has done. So I also took up that course. So मैंने Cold Steel का course किया. I did it for about 2 months, and I had like a firm hand on web development. And as soon as I knew कि मुझे इतना web development आ गया है that I can convince someone that I know web development, and I have like a fine GitHub profile, 2-3 projects बना लिए, I just directly started applying for internships. The catch was that this was 2020 का April. So अब तक तो people were just processing the lockdown. So the competition was like very honestly काफी low. So ऐसे एक internships पे जहाँ पे आज हजार applications होते हैं, at that point of time there used to be like 200 applications, 100 applications. So I had it easy in that manner that I started a bit early. So I started just applying for like web development internships. And one thing I had learned from my seniors is that कि like they used to say this term ki बेशर्मों की तरह apply करो, which basically meant that apply for 60 companies, 70 companies.
Absolutely.
These are not big tech, these are not big tech companies कि आप Facebook, Amazon में आके apply कर रहे हो first year में, but go to Internshala, go to LinkedIn, find startups and apply करते रहो. And a lot of companies are just looking for dedication. They know that if it's a first time intern, तो वो बहुत dedicated होगा. He'll put in everything. He'll put in like 12 hours of work. So even if if they hire someone जो experienced हो, बस 2 घंटे में काम कर देगा. So that is why like I started applying a lot, and then the first internship that I got was from Internshala. So it was this company called StudyMonk. It was an edtech company. At that time, as COVID came, online edtech was like booming a lot. So it was this edtech company which used to be involved in college communities, teaching coding to colleges, etc., etc. So that is where I joined as a web development, full stack development intern. That was like my first experience as an intern. So that is where everything started. The catch was that, so this is my like tip to everyone, that one of the best ways to learn anything is by working in it. So बहुत लोग बोलते हैं ना कि projects बना लो as a college student. I get कि इतने distractions होते हैं that at times you don't feel the motivation to make a project. But if you start working somewhere, you know that ultimately they are paying you something. So you have to work. And by that you can learn technologies जो तुम्हें नहीं आती होंगी. So let's say when I got into this internship, I just knew MERN stack का basics. I did not know Redux, I did not know context API. I just knew the basics of React and all these things. But when you join such a startup, तो वहाँ पे there is no engineering team. It's just a bunch of interns trying to run, right?
Trying to be
productive,
right? Yeah, trying to be productive.
Right.
Trying to bring anything into the table that could help the company.
Exactly.
And the level of dedication the internship folks have, it's like even the full timers they can't even show, because they know at the end of the day they'll be paid. But the struggle for getting a job offer during the internship is what makes the dedication makes them committed throughout the journey.
Right. Exactly. And in my case, because none of my peers were doing internships, so it was like an extra excitement that I am doing something different, kuch to ho raha hai, and someday it might add up to something. So we just used to keep working for that company 10 hours, 12 hours. I remember days when we used to just sleep, eat and code for that company. And because we were owning the product, we were deploying things on AWS. We were using Redis caching for a social media feed. We were using WebSockets to actually build a blogging website. So all of these things introduced me to the technologies जिसके YouTube tutorials ही नहीं. So it was just reading documentations and implementing things. And that's when the real growth happened, right? Because you were responsible for deployment. If you as an intern do a mistake, then the website can crash, or let's say the users can start complaining. So the main learning curve I had was at StudyMonk. So that was my first internship. And guys, along with that, I
would like to highlight that Yajas is in first year right now. So everything that he has been learning is from the first year itself.
Right. So I'm not saying that you just start with your first year. This was like around the second half of my second semester.
Okay.
But it was just I was not doing it because someone else was telling me to do it.
Right.
Therefore, I was not tired that why am I doing this? I should not do this. I was doing it like a hobby. It was not something that was like warranted by someone or told. Like basically, it was not a commitment per se. Right. So tabhi I was enjoying it. And tabhi along with StudyMonk, I just made a LinkedIn profile. And that was again a new thing for me, that seeing so many people in second year, third year on LinkedIn whom I wouldn't have met in college because everything was online.
Absolutely.
So one thing here comes is that if you are in first year, even if you don't have a professional background, make a LinkedIn profile. Even if you don't get anything else, you'll get a lot of perspective.
Absolutely.
So right.
And guys, Yajas has made the best utilization of COVID times. If COVID was not that great from multiple angles, this was what Yajas took on his side. Like he utilized its time to the maximum potential, and he created opportunities for himself rather than being laid back. He looked out for opportunities where he could work, and he was successfully able to find good stuff there.
So that was, I think, definitely a blessing. I know for a fact that had college been going on, we wouldn't have made like 20% of the progress we were able to, because let's say you have a 2 monitor setup. So one monitor pe there are classes going on and the other monitor you're coding something out. So
Right.
I just like fast forward through the next 2-3 internships. I won't take a lot of time on that. So along with these, I did an internship with Progist, which was again it wasn't a startup, but it was like a very small scale company. There I did an internship for 1 month where I just basically delivered a project, and then my internship ended. And then I got an internship as a cybersecurity intern at Gurugram Police.
Awesome.
So this was like an opportunity which was released by Mr. Akshay Tandon in 2020. At that point of time, they used to take a very limited amount of interns. So it wasn't like a mentorship program; it was an actual internship program at that point of time. So that is when we applied, we sent in our resumes, and after a month or so, we got a reply that we'll be interning with Gurugram Police. Again, it was a virtual internship because of COVID. But in June, I spent my entire June working with Gurugram Police. And simultaneously, my internship with StudyMonk had also ended.
Okay.
So by this time, I had reached just the initial, like the beginning of July. And now I found myself in a position where my final intern was going to end. My 2 previous internships had ended, and I did not really have a lot to do next. So this is where like my journey for Curefit started. Like I have talked about this once before on this platform itself.
Okay.
But I'll just should I go should I just mention the journey?
I think the story is really interesting. Please do mention it.
Sure.
Guys,
sure,
if
sure.
you think, guys, if you think Yajas is from NSUT or NSIT, that's why he got this opportunity. No, it's not. Yajas created this opportunity for himself. Listen to his story.
Right. So firstly, now I'll just take it out of the way that till now, none of my offers have been on campus. So don't look at this video in a manner where I'm leveraging NSUT to get opportunities.
Right.
No doubt it's a privilege being in a tier 1 college, you get a lot of opportunities, but it's not a bottleneck that if you're not in a good college, you can't really do well. So coming to the Curefit wala thing. So because everything was online, you were not going to college, and I was doing multiple internships, I was gaining a lot of weight. And that's it. I was just so I was like being pestered by my parents that start working out. So I started working out on the Curefit app, where I used to do their dance workout every day.
Dance fitness.
Right. Dance fitness.
Yeah.
Right. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what. So when I did the dance fitness, I used to just look for the dance fitness workout every day. And when I used to use their filter feature and some of their features, I realized that some things were getting refreshed again and again, which wasn't supposed to happen, and it was hindering my user experience. So I just looked up that what tech stack are they using, and they were using React plus Redux. So it was very evident that what was happening was that their Redux states were getting refreshed. So what I did, so what I did was that I did this with no intention. Like I did not know what the end goal is, but I just started the phone recording on my phone and recorded all those bugs with a voiceover of mine, where I was explaining how the bugs are working and giving I obviously did not know the code base, but still I was trying to give an idea of how these can be fixed. So I made like a 3-4 minute recording. I found the customer care email ID where you reach out for problems with your membership, and I sent them this video with a disclaimer that it's a bug, please fix it. So I had like a back and forth with them over email for 10 days, where I was just explaining my bug to them. And on the 14th day, I got a reply saying that they are fixing the bug and rolling like an update on the app. With the next update, this bug will be fixed.
Great.
And that is when, instead of asking them for, let's say, a thank you voucher or a membership, I just told them that yeah. So I knew that it's not a security bug. Yeah. So bug bounty is something which won't work. So I simply asked them that, can the person who's leading this particular team, can that person call me up? I just want to talk to the developer once. And they were like, that was a long shot, but after 2 days, out of nowhere, I got a call from the developer that this is the one who was responsible for the bug, and I fixed it. So when I got that call, I just talked to him, and so I had no context that Curefit is a big company. I thought it's a small startup. I had no idea that it was being invested with Tata or it was about to become a unicorn. I had no context. And I did not even know that Curefit actually comes on campus to take interns and placements. So what happened, I like randomly after 2 days of the email, I got a call from the developer who was like responsible for that part of the team. And so I had no context that Curefit is like a big company or anything of that sort. I had no idea that it's about to become a unicorn or invested by Tata. I just thought it's a small startup. I'll just ask for an internship and they'll give it to me like a gift. And I'll probably have a single interview. But that was not the case. So I was told by that person who actually ended up being my mentor and still continues to mentor me. So shout out to him. But so when I talked to that person, he told me that we are a big company. We have a lot of processes. So you need to find open opportunities and you need to get a referral. So I was like, I'm in my first year, so there will be no open opportunities for me. You anyway don't hire off campus. So after like being very insistent and just insisting a lot, I kept saying the same thing, that can I get an internship? Can I get an internship? So finally, he asked me that just get a referral and send your resume and your pitch on our HR email ID and we'll see what happens. So I found a college senior of mine who was actually at Curefit. And this is where first time I used LinkedIn in a productive manner. So at that point of time, I had built like a decent LinkedIn, wherein you could tell that I am at least not a ghost, I'm a credible person. So I just reached out to that person that can I get a referral? And I told him my story. And after the story, he was like happy to give me a referral that is unique. And after the referral, nothing happened. Then after about 2 weeks from the referral, I got a call from this very same developer that we are having a phone screen with you. So in that phone screen round, it was like an hour-long round. Where he picked up my resume and just went deep into my projects.
Okay.
So we talked about how can you scale WebSockets, how do you load balance a chat application. We talked about all these things, and obviously I had no clue about system design, but he was like generous enough to give me hints, tell me what actually is a load balancer, and then I could just figure out the logic of what's happening. So after this 1 hour long round, I did not get a call for 2 weeks. Then I just reached out to.
Then you must have thought they ghosted you up. It's gone.
Yeah, obviously I was like, they just did not want to be very rude to me, so they gave me one call, and then they were like, Tata bye bye. But after, so I just kept messaging and emailing these people, the referral person and the person who took my phone screen, that what's the update. And after 2 weeks, I randomly get a call from the HR that you are getting interviews with us. You have 3 interviews scheduled for tomorrow, back to back.
Okay.
Which are like your typical interviews, DSA rounds and hiring manager round. So at that point of time, in DSA ke naam pe, I just knew stacks, queues, binary search, sorting at max. Trees was very weak. DP graphs were almost like non-existent. Right. So I was like, I can't give a DSA interview. I know for a fact that Curefit is famous for asking good DSA questions. So how can I now like appear for a DSA round? But like there was no harm. So I was like, okay, I'll just appear and I'll tell every interviewer very cutely that I just know some DSA. So I just went to the interviews. The next day was like filled with 3 back-to-back interviews. So I obviously won't reveal a lot about what happened in the interviews.
Yeah, obviously.
But things were mostly around like medium lead code questions. And I just kept telling them that I have worked on my projects. My DSA is not that strong. So I was able to solve one question in each interview. But apart from that, we talked about JavaScript. We talked about promises, closures, async await. We went into JavaScript theory because that was something I was fairly comfortable with. Then in the hiring manager round as well, we just discussed that the hiring manager was also a team lead who was like fascinated by my story. We just talked about that and talked about my projects. And finally, so I remember he asked me that, is there anything you want to say to me? So I just said that this time, please tell me my results quickly. And then he just took me up on that. And on the next day itself, I got like a congratulations email from them. And they were like that you'll be interning with us. You can decide your duration. You can decide everything. Just tell us. You can join. So I obviously at that point of time I was cute enough to think that college khul jayega. So I just opted for a 3-month intern. And the amount they were giving me. So they had a context that this is obviously lesser than on campus. But for me, it was like a rags to riches story. so when on call, I was just trying to underplay that. Yeah, okay, that amount is okay.
कुछ भी चलेगा, कुछ भी दे दो.
हाँ, बस दे दो, आप Curefit मिले. Right. मैं देता हूँ पैसे, आप बस ले लो मुझे. But it was like they compensated me well, the culture. So ultimately, I got an offer and I worked with Curefit for 3 months. Yeah.
So guys, the takeaway here is the previous internship that he did helped him, added brownie points onto his resume so that he was able to clear his first on-screen round. And that due to that on-screen round, on-screen phone interview, he was able to convince the HR and the Curefit folks to get him interviewed for the further rounds. So keep on building your resume, go step by step. Don't shoot for Facebook, Google, Amazon, Adobe, Microsoft in the first go. It's a gradual process of learning for all of us. Nobody can go for it in the first go and nail. Life is not a la 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 land that every time you shoot for the best one out there and you'll get through. It's not going to happen. You have to build up everything in life. So start from the ground level, and then things will keep on happening for you. Also, just had it been apprehensive that he is not well versed with DSA, he would have missed upon the opportunity. It could have been that I'm not yet prepared for it. Let's forget it. I won't be able to clear it up. So this is the kind of attitude that most of us have, but just took it on a positive side. He thought, let's give it a shot and let's see how it turns out to be. And then during the interviews, he was able to take the direction on those domains in which he was comfortable in, which was again a commendable job.
Thank you. Yeah, so this experience was like good. And I'll just mention one thing about the Curefit experience. So when I was working at Curefit, so this was the first time I actually saw that what a team of like 200, 300 people functions like. And so one thing I can suggest is that even if you are aiming for big tech, try to intern at a startup which is right now just trying to become a unicorn or has become a unicorn, because most of these startups have this amazing thing called the flat hierarchy,
right?
Which means that even a 40-year-old, 50-year-old person in your team is the same as you. So even they'll take an appointment with you to schedule an interview, schedule a discussion with the intern. It's that good a culture, and it is valid for a lot of startups. And that is how what you can do is that you can get a lot of perspective. You can actually debate with product managers. You can tell the design person that this design is not looking good. All of these things are possible only in such startup cultures where it's very open communication. And that is where I also got a lot of perspective. And right now, because I introduced myself as being interested in product, so this is where in every stand-up call, I was talking with the product managers, or at times disagreeing with them. And that is when I realized that this is a field that I actually want to go into, where they are talking so much, leading the way, building credibility, giving everything they have. So one thing, a suggestion will be that try to work at such startups as well, even if it is as an intern, before you go into like the full-fledged corporate.
Right. And guys, product management answers the why question for the company. Developers answers the what question, how question for the company. How things are going to work out. Why means why this should work out. So these are like two different domains. One is how to build things and what things to be built and why they should build them. These are the answers that product management gets onto the table. I got to know about these domains once I worked into the industry at Adobe after 2 to 3 years. This was the time when I was first introduced to the concept of product management. You guys are like fortunate enough to get hold of these two concepts way early in your career. I think the times have changed and the next generation is obviously going to be smarter than the previous ones.
Definitely, there is a culture shift. People are actually going towards product. There is a glamorization of product, software, now blockchain, Web3. Right. So the opportunities are ample everywhere. Even if you just make a Twitter account, you can get a job offer.
Right. And after Curefit, Yajas, what happened?
Yeah, so after Curefit is where firstly like coding Decoded and Sanchit comes to my life. So when Curefit ended, it was in October. So it was 8 months. There were 8 months before I started with my on-campus season, which is like specifically a very high pressure, high stress thing in tier 1, tier 2 colleges, where companies come, you line up with them like a race, and then some of your friends get in and some of them don't. So everybody is preparing like crazy, that they are doing DSA, they are doing competitive programming, making projects, building a CV. So I had a reality check that I need to do lead code, I need to do DSA. And that is when from October, I decided that I'm done with internships. I have a fair amount of internships that my CV part is sorted for now. And the projects that I made in these internships has gotten me sorted for the projects part of my CV. So what's left is actually clearing the rounds. So I think this was a good call that I spent the next 7-8 months just doing DSA. Now, I agree that DSA might not be used a lot in companies, and a lot of you folks might be against the DSA side of it because you're doing development. But see, I was someone who was 100% of development. But see, it's the norm right now. At least for the foreseeable futures, big tech does continue to hire from DSA. And even after you get experience, right, DSA continues for at least 2, 3, 4 years, at least.
Even if like once you become senior in the company, then you have to take interviews, and these DSA rounds are core part of it.
Right. Actually, I have never thought of the other side, right?
So it's gonna stay with you for like approximately 10 years from now, unless you become the director or senior engineering manager at a company.
So I guess that further makes a case that if you ever want to work for big tech, then it's okay to spend 6-8 months on DSA. There's no loss. Ultimately, it helps with logic building.
Right. Analytical.
So that is when, big time. And that's when I started with my DSA part. So what I used to do was that I used to just take, you know that there are a lot of famous SDE sheets, DSA sheets going out there.
Right.
So I just picked up one DSA sheet. I started doing it. And along with that, I used to do one thing that I feel can change the entire DSA journey for any student. That's the daily question.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and when I was doing the daily question in my first month itself, I came across Coding Decoded, where like I saw that Sanchit was posting solutions every day, and the solutions had a PPT, they had a pseudocode, they had like a walkthrough, they had the algorithm first and then the code. He would never jump to code. And that is what further like concreted my belief in the daily question. So my daily question journey like started from there. For the next 7-8 months, there is nothing happening in the story. It's just me like doing DSA.
Preparation for
it. Preparing, and along with that, doing operating systems, like getting a good GPA in college. So in my first year, my GPA wasn't that good. So in my my third and fourth semester, I just went all in on academics as well. Like I tried to be attentive in classes and got a good GPA. And then skip to June of 2021. This is where I got into the Microsoft Engage program, which is like a month-long hackathon. Now, this is also off campus. This is not related to your college. So this also, if you are in your second year right now, Engage is about to be released, so do apply. So I applied for Microsoft Engage during my time. I got in. So the first round for that was again a DSA round. It was an online test with DSA MCQs and subjective DSA questions. So I was able to clear that because I was doing DSA for a while now. And then after that, there was a month-long hackathon where we had to build a project by ourselves, interact with Microsoft mentors. And after the project ended, we had an evaluation wherein, depending on our project and our mentor feedback, we would get interviews with Microsoft. So the project that I built, it was a video calling application. I posted about it on LinkedIn as well. I just keep posting everything.
I saw that video. Guys, do check Yajas' LinkedIn profile. It's super mature, way more than his age, and you'll learn a lot from it. I have been learning a lot from his profile, to be very frank.
Thanks a lot for the shout out. You are too modest. You are too modest. Thanks a lot. So I just posted about it on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, I got like interviews with Microsoft. Again, the interviews were very heavy on OOPS, heavy on DSA, heavy on operating systems. And once those interviews ended, 27th July was the date where I got an offer from Microsoft. So that is like the only day on my lead code graph which is like white, because that is the one day I was like, today I am not doing the daily question.
Awesome.
So that happened. I got an offer from Microsoft. And this was 2-3 days before my on-campus season started. So I was obviously not allowed to sit on campus, but that is where the tech preparation part ended. And then because I had mentioned that I was interested in product, so this is where I finally like took the liberty of applying to product roles. And then I started my product journey and like working with product and tech, and that is what I've been doing till now.
Okay, so once you secured the position as a developer intern, then it was
Right.
that you started exploring for other fields, what other
Right,
things
right,
exist
right.
in the industry, and you were
Right,
also
right.
successful in nailing another internship as a product intern, and right now you have been
Right,
doing the
right.
same thing.
Right.
Awesome, Yajas. And guys, Yajas also mentioned one important point that the competition for internship is cutthroat. Your best friend can kill you if he can get your job that you have got in the past. So preparation and consistency, these are the two factors that really play a pivotal role in landing an internship opportunity, especially for the developer interns. So keep consistency and perseverance, your top keys assets that will help you get through the DSA journey.
Right.
And there's just
And yeah.
how has been the experience as a product intern? So what different things you got as an opportunity being a product intern over the developer one? Developer one, all of us
So
know.
yeah. So I obviously am not someone who can tell you what is product in
Mhm.
detail. I
Mhm.
don't think like it takes to be a very high level product manager for you to explain you what is
Right.
product. But I'll just give you some perspective that being in product is basically being responsible for multiple stakes. So you
Mhm.
are that one joining force between developers, design people, salespeople, and user experience people. So you are the one person who is being involved in most meetings,
Mhm.
and you are basically deciding what is to be done.
Right.
So even as a product intern, you might not be leading an entire vertical, but let's say
Mhm.
you join as a product intern at a startup, you get a lot of ownership. You'll
Mhm.
be given a project. You won't be told how you are supposed to do it.
Mhm.
At times you won't even be told that what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
You'll
Right.
just be given a goal that ये करना है,
Mhm.
and then कैसे करना है, कौन करेगा, कितने टाइम में
Mhm.
होगा, सब कुछ आपको डिसाइड करना है. So if this is something that appeals to you, देखो I'm not glamorizing
Mhm.
it. It is a high effort thing. It is a high inertia thing क्योंकि
Mhm.
बहुत लिखना पड़ता है. You need to make a lot of documents
Mhm.
because सब confidence में लेना है, सब कुछ ये समझानी है. There's a lot of research that goes in. It's not at all glamorous on the face of it, but if you like speaking, if you like documenting things, if you like spending a lot of time in office, then product management, you can definitely check it out. And even if like try doing it as an intern na.
Mhm.
Best thing is that even if you are interested in 4 fields,
Mhm.
you like content, you like product, you like tech, सब में एक इंटर्न कर लो.
Mhm.
देखो
Right.
वहां पे जो 40 ईयर के लोग हैं, 50 ईयर्स के लोग हैं, उनकी लाइफ कैसी है, हाउ इज देयर लाइफ, हाउ डू दे फंक्शन एज अ फुल टाइम एम्प्लॉय. और अगर वो लाइफ आपको अच्छी लग रही है तो करके देख लो उसे आगे.
Yes, absolutely.
राइट.
And yeah, I just want to pinpoint one thing over here. If you want to give direction to the company, then product management is a thing to from the CTO to the technical team to the sales team, the whole all the domains that operate in a company, you will be that point of person who will be actually guiding all these teams to get the final customer base that you're looking for, the customer
Right.
satisfaction that you're looking for. So if this is a thing for you, if you want to act as the controller of the entire company, then this job is for you.
Definitely not that glamorous, but yeah, I 100% agree with everything you have said. It's on paper, it's the main objectives like driving what's happening. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, just like just one small question. You got so many, you worked on so many different fields, and you also told that LinkedIn, you got some opportunities from LinkedIn. So how
Right.
LinkedIn actually helped you get through it? What was the course of action that you used to take to search for those opportunities and finally land up into them?
Right. So I'll just share like how LinkedIn works for you.
Mhm.
So when I said that make a LinkedIn account in your first year, it's just mainly for perspective. You
Mhm.
get to see what people are doing in their second year, third year, what
Mhm.
founders are doing, and you get to interact with diverse people. What I do on LinkedIn right now is create content. So that
Mhm.
is something I do mainly for myself to improve my writing skills
Mhm.
and to share whatever knowledge I have gained in the past 2-3 years, however limited it may be. But when we talk about generally using LinkedIn, see,
Mhm.
there are 2-3 things. First is the LinkedIn jobs section. A
Mhm.
lot of companies put out their jobs and internship listings on the job section. And
Mhm.
it so they have like very good ML algorithms. You just need to tell them that I'm interested in these fields, this particular city, all remote, all of these things you can just mention.
Mhm.
And roles you will get updates from LinkedIn. that this is a new job profile for you. This is a new job profile for you. So you can directly apply. That's number one. Second and most important is obviously reference. Especially for big tech companies and now even for startups, there are hundreds and at times thousands of applications every day. So more often than not, HR won't even see your resume.
Right.
So this is where referrals come in, that you can basically reach out to a person who's already working in that company or in that team of a company, and you can ask them for a referral. What they'll have to do is that every company has a separate process, but ultimately they'll just have to vouch for you in the company. They'll have to probably send your CV or fill a form or tell that they have worked with you, and they'll just refer you to the company. Now, this does not ensure an interview. What this does is that it basically highlights your resume.
Yeah.
The recruiter will at least look at your resume now because you have been referred. So referrals ke liye you can basically
you'll get into the limelight of the HR. That's it.
Right, definitely. And this is how LinkedIn helps. If you have a profile where you have mentioned all your work experiences, and not just mention them, tell that what did you learn in these experiences, what stacks you used in these experiences. Write a good about section, have a good headline, have a very clear profile picture. So all of these things help your account get noticed, and then reach out to people with connection notes. Don't reach out in a manner that, hello Sanchit, I need a referral at Adobe, can we connect? Go to someone's profile, look at their career journey. Let's say I see that Sanchit directly went to Adobe after NSIT. So I can ask that, Sanchit, I was intrigued by your career journey. I'd like to know more about how Adobe recruits off campus. Mention anything personalized and send a connection request. And once they accept it, then you can finally have a small conversation with them. And even they know that ultimately they're reaching out for a referral. So just politely send them your CV, tell them, give them your background, and then you can ask for a referral. So referrals ke liye it's very good, jobs ke liye it's very good. And thirdly, it's good for perspective. You can basically, as a web developer or as anything, at times you don't know what to learn after a particular level. आपने एक course कर लिया which is for a basic level. Advanced courses video में कम ही होते हैं. So you can start following people in your domain. A lot of people in product write on LinkedIn. A lot of developers write on LinkedIn. The best person in system design, I'm forgetting his name, he also writes a lot on LinkedIn. So you can follow these people, follow hashtags, follow pages, attend their live events, read their content, consume their content, and you get a lot of perspective. And again, if you interact with their content and you get noticed, you can get direct offers as well. So that also works.
Right. And guys, people get paid if the referral gets hired. So nobody in this industry will ever say ki I'm not going to refer this person up. People are waiting to get paid for it, and that's for free. So don't hesitate yourself asking for a referral. Eventually that employee is going to be paid for it if you get selected.
Right, exactly. So I'll just give one plug here. So I remember that my very first, so I started creating content on LinkedIn 3 months back. I just post something regarding DSA product every day. And my first post was on the daily question. And my third post was a shout out to Coding Decoded, where I just wrote an entire post about how it has helped me be stay consistent with daily question. And now it's a channel that more people need to watch. So definitely do check Coding Decoded out here.
Thanks, Yajas. That's again generous of you to say. Any last pro tip that you want to tell the audience out there?
Sure. So firstly, thanks a lot for having me. It was lovely sharing my journey.
Same here.
One thing I'll say is that whatever journey that I shared today, it is not a roadmap. It is, we are not asking you to do these things.
Right.
Some of you might not even like LinkedIn. Some of you might not even like product. Some of you might not want to go for big tech. Some of you are happy with startups. Everybody has different opinions. Right. Take our learnings as constructives. जो पसंद आया उसे सुन लो, जो नहीं पसंद आया उस पे hate मत करो, बस let it go away. And whatever you have liked, try to implement it. Other than that, subscribe to Coding Decoded. And if you like today's podcast, share, subscribe, and also follow me on LinkedIn if you like it, and I hope you like my content as well.
And guys, look at the kind of maturity Yajas brings onto the table. And I would like to add on to Yajas' point, everybody's journey is different. It's not just one shoe that fits all. It's just one journey that Yajas showed today to all of us. So build your own journey. The roadmap is going to be different for you altogether. You might be from a tier 3 college, tier 2 college, or even tier 1 college. What the things that Yajas did worked well for him, but might not work for you in that case. It could happen. So just keep trying. Look around things, how things are actually operating in this industry, how people are working, and find your key points that might work for you. That's the whole crux of the today's session. And Yajas, I would like to thank you for coming in, talking like it's wonderful talking to you. And I would like to wish you all the very best for Microsoft. Your internship is around the corner. Nail it, bro. And very soon, probably I'll see you as a CEO startup someday. Waiting for that day to come.
Thanks a lot. It was great being on this channel. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay then. See ya.